All right, so let's see it. We just got a chug on the midnight moonshine apple pie spice. Schmahaning just did a big boy chug, and big boy chugs are for big boys. Let's get the rating. Let's hear it. What's the review?
Five. Horrible. Just horrible. Never buy this shit. But at the store. Oh.
We're just going to roll. We're just going to do it. And whatever happens is what happens, you know? I don't know. I've had this thought milling around in my mind for a long time, and I just felt like, maybe I wanted to do this. And, when I did this before, it was kind of like shitty to some extent, but it was fun to some extent, But I don't know. Something in me just has really made me want to do this again on my own. I don't know. I saw a friend of mine yesterday that I hadn't seen in a while, and that really made me think about it. Obviously I've chosen different paths and done different things, and I don't want to have to do this. But at the same time, I do want to do this. I don't want to have to, but I wouldn't mind it, so to speak. I just been thinking about it, and I felt like, enough's enough. If you're going to think about it so many times, why not be about it? I feel like so much of life I just think of things, and I never do things. And, I feel like, you just got to do it sometimes. I mean, Nike was definitely right about that. There's just, so much time of just, planning. Oh, am I going to be ready? I'm never going to be ready. I'm never going to be ready for anything. I'm sorry, I got distracted. There's people talking outside somewhere. I don't know what they're talking about. Probably less important than this conversation. I mean, let's be honest, probably more important than this conversation. There's probably nothing important that's going to go on here. I just wanted to slide this out the way. I felt like, maybe you wanted to see me a little more. Probably not, but who knows? I probably should have did that before I started, but hey, we're rolling. Yeah, I don't know. Today is Saturday, September 11th. Damn. Crazy. That's a crazy day. I wasn't around, but probably not going to talk about that much more than I just did. Probably going to roll right onto it, It's been a great summer, I've met a lot of great friends. Did a lot of great things. Did a lot of not so great things. That was fun, A lot of things that maybe I wish went differently. Which is interesting. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of life has been things that I wish I did differently. But I'll never have the chance to redo those things, And I wonder if other people feel that way. I wonder if other people kind of think that, man, I wish I did that differently, but maybe that's just life, you learn, you make mistakes, and then you figure out, man, I guess I could have did that differently. I think about so many different relationships I had and how I wish maybe they went differently. And then you think about, is that my fault? Was that my fault? What should I have done differently? And you could see how one would go crazy with that. I mean, that's just, that alone is something that I just probably should just not think about, but who knows? Who knows? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I kind of want this to be just a stream of consciousness, just me, I used to write a diary. Not really a diary, I would call it more of a journal. I feel like diary is a kid term. I feel like journal is more of a more manly term. Although I feel like writing a journal to some extent is not that manly. Although, who really knows? I mean, that whole thing is just a thing in itself. But yeah, no, I wanted this to just kind of be like me jotting down notes, writing some things, really, maybe if I talk about it more, it'll make more sense in my head, I feel like. Because I feel like I just have so many thoughts and, like, I don't really know where they're going ever. And, like, maybe a good idea is, like, when you'd write something down, you'd write another thing and then you'd kind of think about it more and then you'd think about it the next day. Yeah, I don't know. Just to get some, like, notes down. Like, I don't really know. But I knew I wanted to do this. Like, I've been saying this to myself, like, why don't you do the podcast? You should be doing it. Just like, yeah. It's funny because it's like I would do it with a bunch of people and, like, that's bizarre. That's a whole thing when you're sitting there and you're, like, forced to have a conversation with people. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, having conversation with a person is always crazy because it's like you're trying to, like, it's like a whole thing in itself. It's like a battle of the minds when you're having a conversation with somebody. Like, you're trying to meld your minds together and, like, fit the pieces together. And it's like, sometimes we don't all have the same pieces that fit together, And, like, you try to force them together, but sometimes it just won't go. I mean, but is that true? Like, will it go? Like, if you try hard enough, will it go? I mean, does that make any sense, really, is the question. But I just feel like, like, you have to, sorry, I wanted to collect my thoughts there. I feel like if I say too many words in a row, it's hard to think about what the next sentence is going to be. But I guess that's the point of this, is just to go. Just to let loose and think about some things, jot some notes down on the table. I just realized we got the American flag going on. Shout out America. Shout out the troops. Shout out Al Qaeda. They're doing their thing. That's pretty fucked up, isn't it? I don't think there's much we could do about that. Not me, perhaps. I mean, maybe somebody, but not me. That's the thing. I'm just a person, I feel like I wanted to catalog it because, we all go through different experiences and things, and it's not like my experience is more important. If anything, it's probably not that important. I'm just sitting in a shed, doing God knows what. I mean, I'm literally recording this. Probably the most important person to talk to would be somebody who doesn't even have a phone. They'd probably have a lot of good things to say. I don't know. Would they, though? If they don't have a phone and they don't know how to talk, but they would probably have a lot of good things to say. Problem is with those people, they're like all about it, Like, I feel like somebody who's like sober and stuff like that, or not like sober, that's not a bad, like, that's a bad example. Well, yeah, that's a good example. Like, no, I mean, it's really admirable to be sober, and I should be one to speaking because I'm still, to go off on a third tangent. Like, I just wanted to show up, like I woke up this morning at 8:00, I knew I had to get out of where I was because it was a rough one last night. I'll speak on that, but I want to get into that later, but it was a rough one. But for some reason I woke up early, still super, in a tizzy about last night, just like my head is just like crazy. Like, it's gone. It's at the gaff. Like, I'm still, you probably hear it in my voice. I have the voice of somebody who probably had a few too many drinks last night. And you're looking at a guy who had a few too many drinks last night. I don't know. That's the problem. You always do that. Wow, I'm really not getting to the point on anything. I'm just kind of going off on another thing, and then we went on another thing. Maybe I'll come full circle around, like, finish some of these up, but, like, I kind of doubt it. I think I'm just going to mill around in some thoughts, and, we're going to see what happens. Whatever you get is what you get, because that's what I got. But, yeah, no. I mean, I just kind of, like, was still drunk. I'm still same clothes, still got the jeans on, 95s. with the low-cut socks, interesting. You know, gotta rock the 95s. I love the 95s. I have a super unhealthy obsession with sneakers. I mean, I don't know if it's unhealthy. You know, a lot of people, I'm sure, are obsessed with clothes, but I would be one of those people. I definitely think about clothes a lot. But, yeah, no, I just wanted to, like, you know, show up and show out. Not really show out. I wanted to say that because I felt like that was smooth to say after show up. Excuse me, I didn't mean to. That's, you know, in front of people like that. That's rude. But, yeah, no, I just wanted to show up because I was, like, you know, real not making any sense right now, you know. But, yeah, no, I went out. I'll just talk about it, you know. I don't know. For some reason, my, you know, I saw my friend, you know, yesterday, and she really, like, for some reason got something in me that I had to do this. You know, like I said, I thought about it, and I've been thinking about it for weeks. And I know you guys definitely don't want to hear about how much I thought about it anymore, because this is maybe the third time I brought it up. But that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go all over the place. So if you don't want me to re-bring things up, then probably don't listen, because we're going to get lost. I'm going to get lost for sure. You know, I'm currently lost, and I'm looking for the way. And you know what's crazy? Somebody said to me yesterday, don't look for the way. You know, which I don't know. You know, she said to me, like, don't go looking for the answers, which was bizarre, you know. Don't go looking for the answers. You know, that's the thing. They always say, like, if you're looking for a relationship, you're never going to, like, find a relationship. Like, you're just going to. But is that true? Like, sometimes they're like, when you least expect it and you're not looking for someone, you'll find it. But is that true? I feel like that's just an old wives' tale. I feel like if you look for something, of course you're going to find it. You know, if you look for something hard enough and you're consistent, but that's the thing. You know, do you be consistent with things and persistent with things? Because that's easy. You know, it's easy to constantly do something. To be constant, well, not easy, but certain things. I don't know. I would say it's easier. I would say it's easier to be consistent at something and consistently doing something rather than like just like waiting around for it to happen. Although that sounds very easy when you think about it. Waiting around for something to happen. I mean, what could be easier than waiting around and doing nothing? I'm sorry. I'm severely dehydrated. You know, I just need all kinds of liquids in my body at all times. All kinds of liquids. Yeah, no, I had too many liquids going into my body yesterday. And I threw up. I haven't thrown up in a long time. You know, and like I've drank so much more than that this summer. So many different times. I don't know what it was. And I'm trying to think what it was. I've had so many worse nights, but yesterday I was just gone. I wonder if it's because I mixed the tequila with the vodka, you know, but like, and I had a little rum. Just a little, though. I don't know. I don't think that's what does it, though, because like I mix all the time. I do all kinds of things, you know? Not to say like that sounds terrible. I do all kinds of things, but like, what I'm getting at is it's rare. You know, what I'm getting at is I don't throw up a lot. You know, it doesn't happen a lot. I can drink and be fine. But yesterday there must have been something in the air and I just drank a little too much and I threw up. And it was pretty upsetting, you know, because I was having a good night. You know, spending some time with a friend of mine, you know, that I hadn't seen in a while, and I just kind of threw up. You know, and that kind of put a damper on things, you know, because at that point I was pretty, like, incapacitated, you know, just over a toilet, you know, not really sure what's going on. I mean, that's tough, you know. I'm sure everybody here has been there, but if you haven't been there, I would suggest that you do it because, you know, if you haven't done it, I would not, you know, I mean, on a serious note, I wouldn't suggest that you do it because it's a terrible time. But, like, I feel like you probably have done it. I mean, if you're listening to this, if you've listened to this far, you probably have done it. You know, because if you hadn't done it, you probably would have turned this off the second I said anything. Because you're like, oh, this man sounds like he's had a couple too many drinks. And you'd be right. You'd be right. Unless you were going left. And that's the thing. Sometimes in life, you got to go left. You know? Unless it's a one-way street. Then you can't go left. You know, that's the thing. I mean, how crazy is driving, really? You know, you're in this big machine box. And it's going. And it's just going. It's just a big machine box. And, like, we all have big machine boxes. You know, and they're big. Like, you could take something out with a car if you drove it fast enough. And I don't know if this is a psychopathic thought. You know, I think maybe it is. I would say it probably kind of is, but, like, I control it. Like, I don't let it consume me, so that's why it's not a psychopathic thought. But, like, you could take something out with a car. You could take out another person. You could take out two other people. I mean, think about all the pedestrians, you know, you know, I'm sure a lot of people think about this, actually, now that I think about it, because a lot of people are always like, yeah, hit that guy. That's 2 points if you hit that guy. And nobody ever hits the guy. You know, you're not going to hit a guy on the side of the road. Who the hell are you? Just going to drive your car off the side of the road into a guy. You know, then he's going to be dead. Then the cops are going to be involved. You know, that's a whole thing. You know, I was thinking about that yesterday with the merging. Like, so many people do so many dick moves with, like, just merging. Like, they'll, like, just wait till the absolute last instant or try to, like, they know they have to get over, but they just go all the way up to the front, you know, for whatever reason, because they feel they're entitled, you know, and try. And I guess I do that too sometimes, so I really am not one to speak, but it's just, you know, and nobody ever does anything about it. And the thing is, nobody would do anything about it because you're not going to ram your car into a person over the fact that you think that they're being dumb like that. You're not going to be like, no, bro, I'm going to hit you if you come in here, because you're not going to do that, because then the cops are involved and that's a whole thing. You're going to let the guy come over. You're going to be like, fuck this guy, you know, but you're going to let him in. You're not going to not let him in. You know, then, like I said, the cops are involved. You know, but that's the thing. Like, nobody would do something crazy like that. But there's a lot of crazy people. That's the thing. You know, like, you have people, you know, bombing places and shooting places. You know, and I guess now that I think about this, I was going to say, mark my words, there's going to be a car shooter, so to speak. You know, somebody's going to drive their car into something. But I think that's already happened a couple times. I've actually feel like I've heard of that story where some guy, like, drove his truck into something. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know the details of the story, but, like, I feel like I heard about it. Yeah, but, like, how long to, like, you know, I mean, that freaks me out. Like, what if somebody just went haywire? You know, you're just like, most of us aren't even paying all that much attention anyway. You know, at this point, I've really mastered typing and texting, or texting and driving. And I feel like we all do. I feel like, you know, they used to try to tell us not to do it when we were little, but, I mean, we all do it now. I mean, if you don't do it, I mean, who are you? If you don't text and drive, who are you? That's Crystalia right there. Yeah. But I'm sorry, that made me laugh because that is really that's his joke. But oh man, just got so sidetracked there. Just got a wall of confusion right to the face. You ever get that wall of confusion right to the face, like whoa-pow? And that probably didn't help either because I'm hung like a dog. And here's the thing, it's Saturday. And I'm supposed to go out later. I gotta make it to the gym today. and sweat some shit out because I feel like death from yesterday. You know, like I said, like I touched on a little bit earlier. Like I said, we're going to get lost, okay? Be prepared to get lost. This is not a linear progression. This will be a circle that will weave and spiral around. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't write anything down or prepare for this. I said to myself this morning, I woke up, I drove in the car, put on the same pair of underwear that I wore yesterday. Not that I took them off at any point, but, you know, what I'm getting at is I'm in the same outfit, you know, in the same body funk as yesterday. I wanted to continue that funk. I wanted to roll that funk. My computer just went off. I didn't want it to explode on me there. I was like, oh boy, if that explodes on me, that would not be good. But yeah, I wanted to roll with the funk, you know, keep it going from yesterday because there was something about it that I just felt like I could build on, you know, and progress forward with. You know, I had it in my head that I wanted to do it, so I wanted to just do it. You know, and I got a little sidetracked by my father. You know, he was inside and he was talking about God knows what. He's always all over the place, you know. I don't ever know what to make of that, if I'm being honest. But he's my father, you know. So I guess I continue every day to try and make something of it, but I just don't know. I have no idea what's going on at any point with him. That's not true, but he's just always like around and like, you know, it's weird. It's bizarre. It's just, I don't know what to make of it really. You know, but he's a great guy, you know, gotta definitely say that, you know, shout out Dad. But, you know, he sidetracked me a little bit. He was, you know, rummaging around in my stuff. And, you know, that's always great when I go downstairs and he's downstairs rummaging through the stuff. You know, I'm like, fuck. What's he going to see this time? Like, you know, I would love to know, like, what he thinks of me. Because I am, you know, not ideal. You know, I'm more ideal than other situations, obviously. You know, like, I still exist. You know, I didn't die. I've never taken heroin, never really been arrested, so that's good. I don't have any serious allegations at the moment against me. Nah, that's a joke. There's no allegations. I would never do anything. No, I just had there's 3 thoughts just went off in my head, and it's like I can only go to one of them. That's the thing. You never know what's going to be the best one. You know, you have 3 different ones and you could, and this was a 4th path, talking about the paths. I mean, this is just all over the place, isn't it? It really is all over the place, you know, but that's the thing. We're getting lost, you know, and that should really be the name of the podcast, should be Getting Lost, you know, but it's going to continue to be Rainbows and Sunshine unless I feel like changing that. You know, I was thinking about Captain's Log because I feel like that'd be cool. You know, like I'm the captain. You know, this is the Captain's Log. Captain's Log, day 1. You know, but this is, it's going to be Rainbows and Sunshine because, you know, I like that name. You know, it's kind of a sarcastic take on life, you know. It's all rainbows and sunshine. But, like, it kind of is to some extent. You know, one takeaway I definitely have noticed, I find myself enjoying life more. And I feel like that sounds a little weird, you know, a bit cringy to say. And you know what's weird? The word cringe is cringe. Like, saying it is tough. And I'm not going to say it anymore because you just heard it 3 times there. And I didn't even want to say cringe for the first time. I wanted to say cringy because I felt like that would take the edge off of it. But saying that word is itself that word, which is bizarre, but it makes sense. But bizarre, which, by the way, I've been dropping a lot today and yesterday, I like it. I say bizarre and then I raise the eyebrow. You know, it's interesting that I noticed that about myself in real time like that, but I have been saying it a lot. It's just a good word, but the word bizarre is the word bizarre as well, now that I noticed that. You know, because you're like, wow, that word bizarre is bizarre. You know, and cringe is cringe. like saying it, but man, what was I talking about? Oh, I feel I feel like I've just been noticing myself enjoying life more, you know? Like how many times I've been in my car and I've just been like, this is great. You know, this is fantastic. You know, I enjoy what's going on right now. Like, you know, take a step back and I'm like, is this real life? You know, am I really here? Like, what did I do to deserve this experience and existence? You know, because I am truly like, you know, have so much, you know. And the thing is, you never lose stuff. You just get more, you know, or better things. Like, you know, I've never really lost anything, I feel like, of serious purpose. You know, like I've lost my phone like 85 times, but like who gives a shit? You know, you get a new phone. I mean, sure, it's $200 and that's not fun. But, you know, you need a phone. I mean, what are we going to do without a phone? I mean, how am I going to look at lewd pictures on the internet without a phone? You know, and I don't want to get into detail about pictures on my phone, but, you know, what would you do? You know, I feel like I'm so addicted to it at this point. Like, I try to make active attempts to not be, like, dealing with it, you know? Try to avoid it, you know? Leave it in a room by itself, you know? Walk away from it for a little bit. But then I find myself looking in my pocket. Where is my phone? All the time. And I know that can't be good. You know? I know that can't be good if I'm just, like, looking for it. You know what's the craziest thing? Is, like, sometimes I'll get mysterious beeps in my pocket. Like, my pocket will start buzzing. But there's nothing in my pocket. There's no phone. There's no anything. But where a phone was is going off. It's just insane. It's just insane. I would love to know if somebody else has experienced that. You know, but phantom beeps in the night. It's crazy. Phantom beeps in the night. But, you know, and then, like, somebody else's phone will go off. Or, like, if anybody hears a notification, you know, you'll look around. Even if it's not your phone. Like, I mean, like even if you know it's not your phone. Like, you hear, like an Android noise go off. And you're like, I know that's an Android noise. But was that my phone? And then you look at your phone. But you know it wasn't your phone. But you're like, well, maybe somebody did text me. Maybe I missed something. Did I miss something? No, you didn't miss something. Who the hell is texting you? Your mother? Pretty much. Pretty much. And what, I'm going to sit there and have a conversation with my mother? Now, she's my mother. I love her. Of course I would. But yeah, I don't know. You know who's got to be happy? Damn happy about phones, though? Mothers. Because you used to have to write letters and shit to your sons. Now you can just call them all day long. How crazy is that? All day long and never leave them alone. And just, you know, constantly badger them. You know, she's a sweet lady. She really is. But just leave me alone, Mom. Sometimes, just sometimes. You know, but she does, but, you know, I don't know. They're just always worrying. So, yeah, I try and leave my phone by itself sometimes. But it doesn't like that, you know? It doesn't like being left by itself. It wants, you know, to snuggle into my pocket. You know, God forbid I don't have my phone snuggled up in my pocket. What would I do? That would be just too crazy. But I operate better without the phone. I find, you know, especially on a long weekend, you know, if I lose my phone, it's going to be a good weekend. You know, I'm in for a good one if I lost the phone. Now, you need the wallet. That's the thing. You can't lose both. If you lose the wallet, you're fucked. You know, because you have no money, and you're going to need money. You know, that's the thing. You always need money. Every time. Every time you go anywhere, you need money. It's just ridiculous. You know, I thought about it yesterday. I was like, well, if I spend $30 a day, I'll only need $210 a week. But that's not even close. I did that math because I'm like, well, you spend $15 on one meal, you eat one meal at home, you know, and then you still got some money left over for God knows what. You know, like a jug of water or like 2 jugs of water. You know, gotta hydrate. Or like donuts. I keep going over to Krispy Kreme. It's bad. I mean, it's good, but it's bad. You know, I just keep going over to Krispy Kreme and just like getting them chocolate glazed donuts. It's bad. It's good. They're good, but they're bad because I just keep going over there and it's $8 for 3 donuts and then they're gone in the blink of an eye. You know, that's the thing though with food. You know, you eat it and then it's gone. And then you spent the money on it. And that's, I don't know. I don't know how I don't even know what to think about that. I mean, that's a crazy concept in itself. You know, and I think about that all the time, you know, when I like will buy like a pair of pants or something. I'm like, well, you'll be able to wear this pair of pants like 85 times. But if you buy like a Snickers bar, you could only eat that once. You know, or like booze, you know, that's gone in the blink of an eye. Watch, you want to see me just slam my hand on the nail? You thought I was going to do it. No, they didn't. Yeah, you spend money on booze and then it's just gone. Or like weed, or like all kinds of drugs. You know, those consumable goods that you spend your money on and then they're gone. You know, and that scares me. That scares me. I was going to say worries and scary. That scares me and it worries me. But like it's something that you got to do. Ooh, that was weird. Excuse me. That was a weird one. I don't know what happened there. It's like a ghost just leaked out of my soul, maybe like a mountain goat, like a sickly mountain goat just escaped my throat. You know, I don't know. It's not my responsibility. I don't have any mountain goats on my farm. That'd be pretty sick to have a farm, though, wouldn't it? I'd probably have some things on it. I would like to do like a reptile farm. I know they do those. But like if I really think about it, you know, if I had like a farm, it'd probably be like a reptile farm. You know, like the first animal that pops into my head is sharks. But you can't really keep sharks because that's a problem. You know, then you're going to have a problem on your hand. I mean, they're going to start eating people. You know, I think it's a common misconception that sharks don't eat people, you know. I feel like, you know, people think, oh, you know, let me go pet the shark. No, the shark is going to eat you. You know, just the other day I was swimming around in the water and I saw this shark and he was just munching on some people. Willy-nilly, just munching on some people. And I didn't know what to say about that, but I, you know, wanted to jot it down here. But we're going to get out of that now. You know, there's a nail in the table, but I don't know. I wish I didn't spend so much money on just stupid things, but that's the thing is like, you always want things. You know, you always want things. Things are good. You know, you need things because you need happiness. You know, I feel like I'm just addicted to just about everything. Just about everything. Like, I feel like it's just like different addictions and different problems that I'm constantly facing. You know? I feel like alcohol is probably my least worrisome addiction. And I don't even think it's an addiction. You know, if I'm doing it twice a week, I don't think that's an addiction. And, you know, the thing is, like, the fact that I'm trying to tell myself that it's not an addiction is worrisome to some point because why would I even be, you know, but, like, the thing with that is it always leaves you feeling like shit. So the next day, you don't want to drink. You know, there's not a lot of things like that out there that will really leave you feeling like shit like that the next day, that will force you or hope you don't do them. But the thing is, even with that, then you still go back, you know? It's Friday, it's Saturday, you know? And Saturday is always a shit show because Friday was always drunk too, and sometimes there's Thursday. you really never know. You really never know what could happen and what does happen. But yeah, no, I found myself enjoying life more, and I feel like I want to continue to do this, just have some chats, and I'd love to hear some feedback. There'll probably be like 3 people that watch this, but like, I'd love to hear some feedback. Maybe someday somebody will watch this and they'll be like, hey, that guy, he was all right. Just all right, I'm not asking to be good, I just want to be all right. I feel like I'm just here to watch. And I don't know if that's a great way to look at it and look at myself like I'm just here to watch. I feel like I'm more important than that. But to some extent, I'm not. Everybody's super important. And there's a lot of us. And a lot of people think that they're more important, And I guess that's really like ego. And it plays such a role in so many things all day long. But yeah, I don't know. I just had a crazy thought in my head, which I'm not going to share. Sorry. Yep. Too bad. So sad. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. I don't even know what I was talking about. Dude, it's just distracted me. Just the thought of it was honestly the thought of a woman, and it just distracted me. It's a very distracting thought, isn't it? Just the whiff of woman in the air can really send me in a sideways turn, in a left turn, so to speak. You got to watch out. You don't want to take too many left turns in life, You got to try to go the right direction, I don't know. I'm trying to get back to what I was thinking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. My bad. I feel like every time I say yeah 3 times, I have to do that. I just feel compelled to do that. But yeah, no. Wow. I mean, that's a crazy thought, though. Who's more important, who's not important. And sometimes I like to take the back seat and realize that, it's okay for me to not be that important right now. And I don't know how great a way that is to act or think, to take a back seat to things and just let it play out, and realize that, maybe what I got going on isn't the most important, but it's because I like to watch, I like to see what's going on. I like to experience people. I always like to hear what somebody has to say. Now, sometimes I don't, but I'll give you the opportunity. And I love stories. The problem is I then tend to interject and say stupid things, because I'm a troublemaker. Goddamn troublemaker. Always was. I'm trying to be good, though. I'm trying to not be a troublemaker. I'm trying to, have a positive lay of the land. That's not the right words, but, a positive impact, which, when I think about it, isn't really going well so far. I would say if you were to meet or talk to any of the people that I kind of know, a lot of them would probably not have a lot of good things to say about me. Now, the people that I know currently would definitely have some good things to say about me, but that's because I know them currently. Whereas everybody else would be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really talk to him anymore, or something like that, because there's a lot of people that I've had very interesting. Yeah, what I'm getting at is I would like to have a positive impact. I try to be good to people, although it doesn't work out. It just doesn't. I always end up doing selfish, stupid things. I'm just like, am I stepping on glass here? Because I keep scraping my shoe on something. And I don't want to scrape my shoe on glass, I can't have that. Yep. Swine flu. I love swine flu. But yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough. I try to, but I mean, I guess that's really nothing worth talking about, really, because it's not really I don't know. I think we all try to be a good person to some extent, and it just doesn't work out. But what I was really like talking about is like, I don't know, like taking a back seat to things, letting things play out. Is that good? That's an interesting thought. Is it good to sit back and let things play out? Let other people, do what it is they have to do. Obviously your human wants to experience it, but how much of this human am I? I'm also that other human, and, I want them to experience it. And, I would be happy if they did. But it's like, come on, I want some stuff sometimes. Which is bizarre. Which is a great word, by the way. And I don't really know how long I've done. I would assume it's over half an hour. But if I had to guess, I'd say 46:30. I hope that's not super on the nose, because then it's going to look like I'm looking at a recording somewhere. I've been looking at the time, but I don't really know exactly what time I started. But yeah, I don't know. We're just going to do these, and it's going to be me for the most part, I think, because I just kind of want to use it as like a journal. Like I had a notebook, and I used to take notes and write stuff, but I don't really do that anymore. And I feel like this would be cool to look at one day and see. I just kind of want to like talk about my experiences. And just things that go on. Yeah. That's all, though. All right. Well, I'm going to do one soon, but this is the end of this one. Go Giants.